How do you make sure your vision and your message get across?
If you think you've said something once, you haven't said it enough.
You mentioned you're operating in 12 countries.
I still believe in being present and being available. It's one of the most important things that anybody can actually do.
So someone who is in school right now studying accounting, with the AI and the future of this industry, how do you see they come out of this school?
What AI is going to be doing is going to be automating repetitive tasks, especially for our industry. It's going to be improving accuracy, but it's not going to be adding any value on expertise and judgment, which will remain critical from the human form.
Just tell me about the challenges that you had within your organization in leadership.
You can't be everywhere or be in a position whereby you do everything. And the challenge is trusting others while maintaining the standards of the business.
AVASK was built for entrepreneurs who think globally and scale decisively. Led by serial entrepreneur and global expansion strategist Melanie Katsaris, AVASK has become one of the world's leading indirect tax, customs, EPR, and technology partners for e-commerce businesses expanding internationally. Over the past decade, the firm has supported thousands of online brands in navigating complex tax, regulatory, and compliance requirements across multiple jurisdictions. Melanie brings more than 20 years of experience in accounting and tax, forming the foundation behind AVASK's authority and global expansion. Recognizing early that traditional advisory alone wasn't enough for companies scaling at speed, she built a technology-driven platform powered by software and AI. The result? Businesses expand faster, gain visibility, and stay compliant at scale. Beyond advisory, Melanie is an investor and operator who has built, acquired, and scaled companies across borders. That hands-on experience gives her direct insight into what sustainable global growth really demands. Her journey is one of conviction, resilience, and execution. That same ethos defines AVASK. Today, we dive into her story and the unfiltered truth about scaling globally without losing control, margin, or momentum.
Can you tell us what shaped you as a great leader you are right now?
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I didn't know I'm a great leader, but because you're saying that, I'll take that any day. So I think for me, leadership is about taking responsibility. But what really shaped me as a woman leader that I am today is about taking responsibility, but also both financially and emotionally. And these things, they actually teach you to be very much decisive and also have resilience and also accountability very quickly. I learned that no one is coming to save me, but also it means that you are forced to actually build something properly in your own terms. So I know it's sort of like a long answer, but I would say it was about me taking responsibility at an earlier stage of my life, not just from the jobs that I've had in the past life, but I think from school, university, traveling countries, moving away from my own sort of like social system that I have, and traveling. That's, I think all those things, they sort of like, they help you as an individual to be able to be a great person, I think, more than anything else.
And I know you have such a large international team, Melanie. How do you make sure your vision and your message get across?
We are in 12 countries, so Europe, America, as well as China. But I would say that how we lead or how we have our message sent across those teams is through clarity and reputation. If you think you've said something once, you haven't said it enough. You also have to try to be clear on why you are saying or saying what you're saying to the team. So it's not just about what needs to be done. It's getting people to commit more on the understanding and reasoning. It's about the why. I reference Simon Sinek. I've given some of our leaders. I've got actually a book of Simon Sinek here. I'm not promoting. I'm not promoting the guy, but you know, he says it all starts with the why. How great leaders inspire everyone to take action. But for us, it's also about leading by example. And again, I learned this earlier on, the fact that if I wanted my messaging to be heard, I needed to give the people the vision as far as like, what is it exactly that I'm trying to make them understand? So it all starts with the why.
And I think, and you mentioned you're operating in 12 countries. How do you balance that? How do you manage bouncing back and forth between these different countries, different culture, and tell us about how successful you are.
I don't know the definition of success. I would say just as yet, because I work with brilliant humans and brilliant individuals. But I would say about balancing. Balance isn't a perfect split, because you find yourself being in places where you are needed the most. And as much as the world of internet is it's great and you can send a message across, but I still believe in being present and being available. It's one of the most important things that anybody can actually do. We do have those periods whereby there's just intense focus, and sometimes you have to deliberately step back in that storm and try to prioritize whether that's going to be family, clarity, mental health, or whatsoever. But I would say that it's about just having a split, which sometimes is not it's not perfect, because a lot of people today, they talk about work-life balance. I like it where Jeff Bezos says there is work-life harmony. And I'm not by any means saying that there isn't any work-life balance, but I think when you work full time, you can find that difficult. So which means you need to take some time away when you're not working to try and just focus on yourself. But I'm going to tell you now, operating in 12 countries, it's not about a perfect split of your time.
What would you say to the younger generation that they want to make sure they have work-life balance and they haven't really started their career yet?
I would say, and I've actually seen this, Ryan, whereby I can talk from my children. Many years ago, when you were given that work experience, you used to be really excited about the fact that you've got work experience. My daughter is starting to be a vet, and they have to go for months doing work experience at a time, whether that's 2 weeks or it's a week. But in the period of 5 years, she would have done an enormous amount of work experience. Now, we appreciated that. We love that. But I think the younger generation, they understand the value of money. They understand the value of time. So for them, when you're going to be telling them that, hey, you have to be excited at doing work experience, you will be asked questions like, how much does it actually pay? And I think right now, where in the world of internet, anybody can be an entrepreneur, anybody can be very successful in their bedrooms. Yet the younger generation, they've got a choice whether to wake up and go and work for somebody else for 20,000 a year when they finish university, or decide to work for themselves. And I think it's about the ticket that is available out there. And I wish, honestly, we lived in a better place whereby we can say that, everybody needs to be paid very well. But being paid well is in a salary form, you need to make sure that you charge well from a client point of view. But I just think the younger generation, they've got a much more harder times where we were better because I think we were grateful about everything that was available out there. And we took every little thing as a huge opportunity and with excitement. But right now, in a world where you can start your business in a bedroom, it puts you in a position whereby, the world is your oyster. You've got a choice. Whereas for us, I don't think we did have choices. A bit of a story. I studied accounting. I don't know what, honestly, I would have been. But the reason why I studied accounting is because I looked at in job adverts as far as like which was the best career that paid more, and accounting was the one that used to pay more. So I went for accounting for that reason, because it paid more, and I wanted to solve my situation at that point in time. Law was another one, but I just thought that, well, I was starting accounting from school from when I was at early years, and it was easy for me to go to university and progress on that career. So I would say we're living in a world whereby there's a lot of options that are available for people out there. So which means you can choose whether you want to work or you don't want to work. But yeah, we're living in very challenging times. And I think in the times where also we've got AI, it's more like if the syllabus is not going to be changing to accommodate the now or the presence or the 2026, where everybody is scared of AI, especially our generation, that they're going to be replaced. I would say that the curriculum at universities and schools definitely will have to change so that they can grow the next generation of leaders, which is really different, like how we actually grew up.
So someone who is in school right now studying accounting, with the AI and the future of this industry, how do you see they come out of the school, and how do they see coming in strong with the correct knowledge and education?
I would say just maybe talking more of our industry. When I studied accounting, I didn't even use a computer. I use a double entry bookkeeping, which was in a pieces of paper or notebook. And it was different times. We moved from there. We went into computers, which was great because we thought, that is automation. But there's still a lot of efforts and a lot of errors that are being created, even though we thought that was automation. And now AI is actually coming out, and what AI is going to be doing is going to be automating repetitive tasks, especially for our industry. It's going to be improving accuracy, but it's not going to be adding any value on expertise and judgment, which will remain critical from the human form. And the people and the companies that use AI, especially in our industry, with deep regulatory knowledge and strong client relationships, they're going to be winning because they're going to be looking where AI can actually help them. Now, if you go back to the younger generation, and I would say especially for schools, I'm going to reference China as an example, whereby even from primary schools, children from the age of 6, 7, 8, they are learning AI. And it puts us in a position whereby if the third world countries or the West doesn't actually adopt that strategy of making AI to be one of the most pivotal things that they actually use, even just for the younger generation, they will definitely be left behind. And I think going back to your other question is that how is it impacting them? It's going to be impacting them because they will feel displaced. But at the same time, for me, people feed AI information. I could turn around and say, let's travel to Canada. What I see in Canada or experience in Canada, I'm going to go back and put it in a journal and put it on the internet. And you're going to do the same thing, whereby it's going to be driven by perception. And when somebody comes in asking about Canada, both our information is going to be pulled together, and it's going to be all what we perceived about Canada as a country. And it's about us just being careful about where AI can actually help us and where AI can help us. But I still believe in the human touch. I still believe that let's automate anything that is repetitive. Let's teach the younger generation about AI, maybe give them a better vision than what people believe it's what it is. Definitely, it can help. It's going to automate a lot of jobs. But I would say going back to the industry that you are in, which is construction, you guys, it's going to take a while to be replaced. It's going to take a while for you to be replaced by robots. But I would say for our industry, definitely, where I was working 100%, probably 50%, most of the repetitive tasks will be taken over by AI.
I was just having a conversation with our employees here. There's a little bit of panic out there. A lot of people think that AI will be replacing human. But a conversation I had with them was like, okay, let's go back to the time that Excel just came out. A lot of people thought that, oh my God, we're going to lose our job. But instead, we needed people to learn Excel and operate Excel. And what happened was companies, instead of laying off people, they were able to take on more jobs. So it didn't really replace human. And then also another example was that who would think that there is a social media manager job out there? So with AI, there is always new jobs that are being created, in my opinion.
100%. And I would say that those people that are going to be remaining past of AI are the people that take ownership, the ones that have got curiosity, the ones that are reliable, and the ones that have got commercial awareness. The high performers don't just do their job, but they think what works and what impacts the wider business. So which means those ones are the ones that are going to actually survive this. And they're still thinking that goes out there. And I know that we're using phones a lot, but I think we need to make sure that EQ still does remain, and the curiosity still becomes in existence, and the commercial awareness. And I would say especially commercial awareness, I look at those as one of those traits that in our business is something that we look for in the team that we get on board. And we believe that you can teach the skill, but there are things that you just can't teach.
Absolutely. Let's pivot here. Just tell me about the challenges that you had within your organization in leadership.
I would say that there is always challenges in any company. Anybody that would tell that they leave they've got a perfect organization, I think that they would be telling a lie. But I would say for us it's more like, and for me, I would say it's letting go. As business scales, you can't be everywhere or be in a position whereby you do everything. And the challenge is trusting others while maintaining the standards of the business, which is why we try and actually remove single point of failures where it's possible. My motto, especially in 2026, especially with reviews coming up, if you're going to be looking for a promotion, tell me that you have actually trained somebody else to do your job. Mm-hmm. And also, I would say one of the challenges that we have is that as the business scales, is that everyone grows at a certain pace, right? And learning when to support is one of the most important things, I would say, from a leadership point of view. But also, I think it is a challenge from a business point of view. I don't know whether I've answered that question correctly, but I would say definitely for me, it's letting go, especially when business scales. You want to make sure that you've got the right people at the right place, but also, it's about you moving from a 50 million business to a 100 million business. Will you still need the same team, or the people that you are traveling on the journey with, are they going to be able to scale to that level where the business is actually going? Other people, they actually fall along the way, but I would say that the right team continues with the trajectory of that business and just challenge themselves at all levels.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, I'm going to ask you, as a CEO of not only one company, multiple companies, what are you most proud of? What's the most exciting part of your role?
My role is very diverse, but I would say the exciting part of my role is managing teams that drive the same vision. A team that is able to execute at the highest level, a team that can pivot or that knows when it's time to pivot. And, you know, I don't take business serious, but I do take it serious. When I think about business, I think about playing poker. The fact that, today I won the game, yesterday I lose, or I'm very close to losing, or you understand? So I don't take life honestly serious. That's just my motto. That's what keeps me motivated. But I would say the thing that excites me is just working with people that are able to deliver and the people that are obsessed about results. And that's one of our company culture, that we are obsessed by results. We are very agile and fluid to changes that hit our industry. We are in the regulatory industry, so there's a lot of changes that happen frequently. But I think for us, it's more like how do we support the clients that we serve. When we started the week, Angelus didn't know that he was going to be in Paris today, speaking to tax authorities and leaders. He didn't know that he's not going to be coming back home today. Tomorrow he is in Milan. He is dealing with tax authorities, and we just don't know how things will work from one day to the next. And for us, we are having fun. We are solving problems. The weekend comes and we can't wait because we know that nobody is going to be telling us that the regulation change on Sunday. We're going to only know about it on Monday.
Melanie, are you still working with Amazon?
Yeah, we do. We do work with Amazon. We work with TikTok as well. We work with quite a few platforms out there. But we do work with Amazon and Amazon sellers as well.
Is there anything that you learned that you can share here?
I would say I can't really say much because it's a big company. But I would say for the people that I've worked with, that I'm working with today, what I most admire is the combination of vision with operational excellence, and the fact that I work with people that think big but also execute relentlessly. Companies like the ones that we work with, which is big businesses, especially marketplace, they quietly dominate by doing what is fundamentally and exceptionally well. And for me, that's one thing that just inspires. I would say the think big mentality and being obsessed with their customers. And I think you guys have bought on Amazon, whereby the people that trade on that platform, you need to be in a position whereby the product that you sell on Amazon is quality. And this trains us, even the partners of such a big company, that it's about us being able to deliver a quality service and be obsessed with what we do.
So Melanie, as a woman who is a CEO, who's a leader, is there any challenges in your industry, and how do you deal with it?
Definitely, I would say there is challenges everywhere. Bias exists, whether people admit it or not. I would say I deal with it by just being exceptionally prepared and be outcome focused and being consistent in performance and being able to deliver at the highest standard. But also, I think being a woman in our industry, it's not common because it is a man world, e-commerce. It's a man-led industry. I would say in recent years we have seen women leaders, And sometimes I would say it's not even thinking about you being a woman. It's about you being able to deliver results at the highest standard, and it's about you being better. And I'll say, even before I was a CEO of this company or a founder of this company, it all starts from school, I think. I don't think it's something that you pick it up from literally somewhere that, oh, today, because I've got this title of CEO, I've got to be this. I think it's something that you grow up from school, even though you know that the bias does exist. But for you wanting to be a differentiator, whereby your sex, your color doesn't actually stick, and you just want to produce the finest results at all times. So in my previous jobs, I'll tell you guys a story. In my previous jobs, you would come into an office whereby there's about 30, 40 accountants on the floor. And you think about the fact that, okay, so everybody understands double entry bookkeeping here. Everybody understands tax here. How do I differentiate? Right? I used to be called a spreadsheet queen because I used to be good in macros, and I taught myself to be good in macros because I wanted to be different. And I wanted to make sure that I thought everybody did understand tax and double entry bookkeeping at the same level. But one thing that I learned quickly is that, how do I become different as a woman, or as a young woman who's not even a CEO at that time, as a manager or as a management accountant? How do I become different? So I would say that to any woman or young leader out there, or somebody that aspires to be leader, it's about you being different and challenging the status quo as well, and not wanting to fit the mold and be traveling the journey that everybody is actually traveling. Because if it's 40 accountants, people in our industry, especially accounting, they never left. So which means you'll only be a manager or be a senior if your manager retired. So how do you do that? You differentiate yourself by learning macros or be the best in spreadsheets, even though today we say death to the spreadsheets because we've got something better than spreadsheets. We've got software. So yeah.
Which global companies or individuals are inspiring for you?
I would say global companies that inspire me, including their leaders. I would say number one, it's Simon Sinek, who is a writer, author, speaker. He does inspire me by sharing his knowledge to the world, and for making his information accessible. His books, they are a huge inspiration in my life. But also, I would say companies like Amazon. If you look at their history on where they started and where they are now, I would say for me that is a huge inspiration. But also, I would say you look at those companies, but I would say to anybody out there, I look up to them. They inspire me, but I'm not obsessed. And the reason why I say I'm not obsessed, because I think what you can do, you could look at other people really inspiring you, and then not focus on growing. One manager told me many years ago, and they used to come to him and said, "Oh, look at competition. This is what competition is doing. Look at what competition is doing." He told me one thing I remember on this day, and something that I've taught my team here at AVASK, that it's okay for you to know what competition is doing, but don't get obsessed. And so, although those companies like Amazon, Stripe do inspire me, Simon Sinek, but I don't think I can ever be like them. I need to take the anecdotes and the stuff that helps me along the way, and then change it and also own it in Melanie's way.
Freshta and I worked together for a long time, and we separate work and personal with so many disciplines that we have in place. I know you work with your partner, but I want to know the secret, and if there is one secret.
I do love this question. The secret of working with he's not allowed to be mentioned as my husband anywhere in the organization, and people know that. So he is my business partner here in the office up until we get home at our gate, and then when we enter our home, then he's my husband. The secret for having a harmonious relationship is knowing who is in charge. But I'm joking. I would say it's respect. It's respect. It's flexibility, but also it's having that collaborative mentality whereby you see yourselves as professionals and not as annoyance. I know some people do say to me, I don't know how you work with your husband. I just could never work with my husband. I could never work with my wife. I would say, I don't know where I would be without working with my business partner, because I think the support that I get is honestly, it is tremendous. But I think also the respect and also living by the business culture, knowing that that's the business culture that you live in, and at home as well, having that culture at home, and you can be able to separate the two things. I would say now many people in the business didn't actually know that he was my husband for a very long time. Why? Because we are clear on our roles. We know what strengths we have, and we know which parts of the business that we or he manages better than myself. So strengths, it's almost the same like having a colleague whereby you know you will be able to rely on without them being your partner. So I would say it's the same thing, but also I would say our guiding, a tool is just being in a position whereby we respect one another.
When you talk about your relationship with your partner and your husband at home, it's so interesting. Every single word, like you said, we could both relate to that. The support, the everything, the culture. That's amazing. And I'm sure you can probably relate to our experience as well. We wouldn't be where we are right now, even if it wasn't because of us, both of us being involved in the business and relationship.
Yeah, but also I think what's driving you to forward is because you know that you are building something that is meaningful, even though sometimes there are those moments whereby you feel like you are absolutely exhausted and frustrated. But I'm sure that something that drives me is what keeps me going is the fact that of knowing that I am making impact on my team, on my clients, and we are scaling what we are actually building together. I would say that is the most exciting thing. And I'm sure you also both go through the same thing, whereby you know that you are making impact in the business and you are driving this. And I'm sure that your team is super proud to be working with you guys. And I would say the energy that I get, like, people say, Melanie, you're nowhere near closer to 50. I am. And what keeps me young is my team. And because they inspire me in so many ways. And I think if you're working with people that are smart, that sometimes you think they're better than you, you just keep going. It's a huge inspiration, but also they're driving the impact.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think you're absolutely right saying that basically your team is some sort of extension of your relationship. Sometimes we feel like our team or our kids and the same relationship we have as a husbands and wives and then partner in business, we kind of extend that relationship to our team as well. They are our team in business and some sort of our family. We're building a family together, and I think that's just because of the relationship we have. And I think you're absolutely right. We can extend that to the team, and they feel the same way as well. They feel they're part of just something more than just employee and employer relationship.
100%, but also you leading by providing clarity, strong governance, and clean reporting and honest conversations, which sometimes they are difficult to have. But I believe that they are the ones that actually build trust and also transparency shouldn't be a burden, but it should be used in any business as leverage. So yeah, it's just moving the needle and driving things forward, which is very exciting.
Awesome. Well, Melanie, thank you so much for your time. This was great.